Cassian Andor doesn't care about rebellions. He's not fighting for a cause. Not yet. Right now, he's just trying to stay alive and keep his secrets buried. But in episode 2, everything starts to shift. The hunters are closing in. A stranger arrives from the stars, and a quiet planet is about to become the spark for something much bigger. This isn't a space adventure. It's a slow-burning spy thriller. And That Would Be Me is where the real story begins. Cassian. Andor is in trouble. After killing 2 security officers on Morlana 1 in the last episode, he's now a wanted man. But not by the Empire, at least not yet. Instead, a private security force called Pre-Mor is handling the investigation. They're like a cheaper, sloppier version of the Empire. They wear blue, not white, and they don't have stormtroopers, but they're still dangerous. And one of them, Cyril Karn, is taking this case way too seriously. Cyril isn't your typical villain. He's not powerful or fearless. In fact, he's awkward, stiff, and insecure. But he believes in rules. He believes in order. And when he sees 2 dead officers on his watch, he wants justice, even if his boss tells him to cover it up. This decision kicks off everything. While Cyril hunts for a killer, Cassian is quietly trying to disappear. But Ferrix, the planet he's hiding on, isn't the best place to vanish. It's dusty, noisy, and full of eyes. Everyone knows everyone here. Secrets don't stay secret for long. Meanwhile, Cassian's focus is simple. Get off-world. But to do that, he needs a ship, and to get a ship, he needs credits. Fast. That's why he sets up a meeting to sell a stolen Starpath unit, a rare piece of Imperial tech. It's valuable, and it's dangerous. And it's exactly the kind of thing that draws attention from the wrong people. That's where Luthen Rael comes in. He's not introduced with blaster fire or a heroic speech. He arrives quietly on a transport, dressed like a normal traveler. But he's watching, listening. And he's not here to buy tech. Not really. He's here for Cassian. He just hasn't told him yet. In just one episode, the story shifts from personal survival to something larger. The shadows get darker, the stakes get higher, and everyone's masks start to slip. Episode 2 doesn't give you action. It gives you pressure. Slow, constant pressure. And that's how rebellions begin, not with a bang, but with a quiet, uneasy breath. Cassian Andor isn't a leader. Not yet. He's not thinking about rebellion or resistance. He's just trying to survive. And in this episode, we start to understand what shaped him into the person he is. He lies. He hides. He steals. But he's not cruel. He's not careless. He's someone who's had to make hard choices for a long time. And now, those choices are catching up with him. Cassian's past is like a wound that never healed. We see flashbacks to his childhood on Kenari, where he grew up without the Empire, a quiet, tribal world that didn't last. It's not clear what happened to his people yet, but something went wrong. Something violent. And now he carries that pain everywhere he goes. Even his closest friends on Ferrix don't know the full truth. He lies to them too, especially about where he's from. He tells people he's from Fest, a made-up detail that even he barely believes anymore. That lie becomes a key part of the story. Because when you don't know who you are, how do you decide what you'll fight for? Then there's Cyril Karn. On the surface, he looks like a joke. His uniform doesn't fit. His voice shakes when he talks. He looks like someone pretending to be a soldier. But underneath all that awkwardness, there's a sharp need to matter. He wants to be respected. He wants to be in control. And when he finds out that Cassian killed 2 officers, it's not just about law and order anymore. It's personal. Cyril is chasing this case because it gives him purpose. He wants to be the one who solves it, the one who brings in the killer, and he's willing to go around his superiors to do it. What's interesting is that Cyril and Cassian are complete opposites. One wants order, the other wants freedom. One hides behind rules, the other hides from them. But both are alone. Both are searching for something bigger, and both are about to be pulled into something they don't understand. And then we meet Luthen Rail. We don't know much about him yet, just that he's calm, quiet, and very, very careful. He doesn't speak unless he has to. He watches people more than he talks to them. And when he hears about the Starpath unit, he knows it's not just about the tech. It's about the man who stole it, someone bold enough to break into an Imperial base and smart enough to sell it off-world. Luthen sees potential in Cassian, not because he's a hero, but because he's desperate. And desperate people can be dangerous in the right way. This episode isn't about explosions or space battles. It's about people, lost people, slowly moving toward something bigger than themselves. You don't need lightsabers to feel the tension. Just a look, a pause, a lie told too easily. Everyone is playing a part, but the masks won't last for long. At first glance, Andor doesn't feel like a typical Star Wars story. There are no Jedi, no Sith, no epic space battles. Instead, the story moves quietly, carefully. It takes its time, and that's the point. Episode 2 isn't about spectacle. It's about suspicion, isolation, and the slow build-up of pressure in a world that's already falling apart. One of the biggest themes in this episode is identity. Almost every major character is either hiding who they are or trying to figure it out. Cassian lies about his home planet. Cyril wears a uniform. That doesn't fit, not just physically but emotionally. Luthen arrives pretending to be a regular traveler, but we can already tell he's hiding something dangerous under that calm surface. Even the setting, Ferrix, reflects this idea. It's a place where everyone seems to know each other, but nobody really tells the truth. Another major theme is control versus chaos. Cyril represents control, strict rules, uniforms, authority. But he's trying to apply that order in a messy world, and it's clearly not working. His investigation is sloppy, his co-workers don't respect him, and his obsession with following procedure makes him look more lost than in charge. Meanwhile, Cassian is living in chaos. He jumps from job to job, sleeps in other people's homes, trades favors to survive. But somehow he keeps moving forward. He's flexible. He adapts. And in this world, that might be more powerful than control. There's also a strong sense of watching and being watched. Cassian moves through the streets of Ferrix like a shadow, but people are always noticing him, even when he doesn't realize it. Bix knows he's hiding something. Tim, her jealous partner, watches him with suspicion. The Pre-Mor officers are scanning messages and tracking leads. And then there's Luthen, arriving from off-world, already watching and waiting. The whole episode is full of quiet tension, like someone holding their breath and not knowing when it's safe to exhale. The tone is cold and grounded, unlike most Star Wars shows. There's no sweeping music or fast-paced action. Instead, the scenes are built on awkward silences, nervous glances, and unspoken fear. It feels more like a political thriller or spy drama than a sci-fi adventure. But that's what makes it powerful. It's not about heroes and villains. It's about real people, broken, scared, desperate people, trying to survive under the weight of a system that crushes them. What's brilliant about this approach is that it makes the audience feel the same way the characters do. You're not just watching the story. You're inside it. You feel the pressure build. You feel the silence stretch. You feel the moment when someone makes a choice they can't take back. And when the story finally bursts open, when the rebellion finally begins, it won't feel like a twist. It'll feel like the only way this could have gone. This episode doesn't need explosions to feel intense. Instead, it uses cinema as pressure. Every shot, every pause, every line of dialogue is chosen carefully. There's no wasted space. We get long, quiet shots of Cassian walking alone, glancing over his shoulder. The camera holds on faces for just a second longer than usual, not to rush, but to let the emotion breathe. That silence becomes part of the story. It fills in what the characters aren't saying. One of the most powerful visual tools used here is distance. Cassian is often shown alone in the frame, walking through empty corridors, standing apart from others in crowds, or staring into space while others talk. That space between him and the world is doing something subtle. It's showing us just how disconnected he is. He has no real home, no stable relationships, and no clear future. And that isolation is what makes him a perfect target for someone like Luthen. Even Luthen's entrance is handled with care. He doesn't land with a hero shot. He arrives by public transport. No music swells. No dramatic speeches. Just a quiet old man stepping off a ship, eyes scanning the city. And yet the way the camera watches him, slow tracking shots, lingering glances, tells us he matters. We know this man is dangerous. We just don't know how yet. And that's the beauty of this show. It trusts the audience to feel what's going on without needing to explain it outright. And then there's the title, That Would Be Me. It's such a simple line, but it says everything. It's about Cassian finally being seen. It's about someone finding out who he really is, and him having to admit it, even for a moment. In a world where everyone wears masks and hides behind lies, that moment of honesty hits hard. He's not ready to be a hero. He's not even ready to be honest, but the path is opening, and whether he likes it or not, he's already on it. This episode is a slow, quiet fuse. The match has been struck, but the fire hasn't reached the powder yet. You can feel the sparks, though. The way the music creeps in, the way Cyril leans into obsession, the way Luthen prepares for something bigger than a trade deal. All the signs are there. This isn't just about one man on the run. It's about the beginning of a rebellion. And that's what makes Andor special. It doesn't start with hope. It starts with fear, with silence, with survival. Episode 2 reminds us that change doesn't always come from heroes. Sometimes it comes from the people who have nothing left to lose.